Hello everyone, this is Sabrina's Crafty Corner or Sabrina's Crafty Home Decor, depending on where you're watching from. Many of you have asked me how to make those fabric flowers in the crafts you just saw, so we are going to make that middle one together. So you're going to need a macrame ring. This one is about 2¼ inches, and some stain of your choosing. I used Early American to stain your wood ring. This is my favorite stain. I just used a couple paper towels, one to apply and one to dry it off. You're going to need about 22 to 25 2-inch squares or 3-inch squares. And then these are about a 4-inch squares right here. It's about 2 4-inch squares plus some cotton. So I just turned these squares around and I'm using my macrame ring to kind of judge where to cut. And I used a white paint pen to draw my circle. So this is going to be for the inside the center of the ring, for the middle of our flower. So this is going to be a patriotic flower, obviously. So I'm just using some hot glue, and I'm not going all the way around with it. You want to leave the top open. And you're going to hot glue the inside of the one piece of fabric to the inside of the other, making a little pocket. And then you're just going to stuff it with some cotton. And honestly, I just tore open an old throw pillow. I didn't have any cotton on me, so it was one I was going to throw away anyway. So I am repurposing its cotton. And then you're just going to, once you fill it up, and you're just going to hot glue the opening closed. And then just kind of squish it around to make sure, to spread out that cotton more evenly. So now on not the inside of the ring, but right there on the edge, the inside edge of the ring, you're going to put some more hot glue. And then you're going to push that fabric through until it's kind of bulging out the other side. Almost like you're making a little bubble, so it bubbles out. So I wanted those 3 white stars to stick out on the other side, so I was just pushing it through until I made sure that my stars were showing. Okay, and now that that is pushed through, we have our little bubble coming out there. Now I'm just going to trim off the excess because you don't want that excess there because it'll show when you put your petals on. So I'm going to trim off the excess, which is obviously going to open it back up in some areas where I had hot glued it closed, but that's okay. We're just going to hot glue it again. And there we go. We're just going to close that up. Some of this video is in real time because I wanted you to be able to see what I was doing, and other parts will be sped up a little bit. If you're watching from YouTube, please be sure to hit the subscribe button below and then click on the bell and click on all so that you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. If you're watching from my Facebook pages, please be sure to give me a like and a follow. So now I'm just pushing that down just to make sure that it's nice and stuck and it's not going to go anywhere. and pulling off any excess glue because I don't want the hot glue to show either. And there's the middle of our flower. That's the back side, and that'll be our front. So here I have actually about 26. These are 3-inch squares. I just ripped 3-inch strips from my fabric, and then I just notched and ripped the squares out. So you fold it in half, and then you fold it in half again. And now on the folded edge here, you're going to put a little bit of hot glue right there in the corner. And you're going to connect those two folded edges to make a triangle. And be careful, it's hot. Yes, I did burn myself there. Just a little. So now we have our little triangle or cone. So we have our frayed edges still open at the top, and we're just hot gluing that little bit of corner there. Okay, and now you're going to put a little bit of hot glue on top of that corner. And you're going to hot glue it next to your other petal. So I did 2 off camera so that you would, so I'd have a couple there when I went to show you how to do this. And so we're going to do one more. You're going to fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And you're going to fold that little corner there, hot glue, that little corner there, and then make yourself your little triangle. And pinch that together and let it dry for a minute, just a few seconds. And then put some more hot glue on the top of that corner, and then hot glue it down next to your petal you just put there. And just hold it down just for a few seconds to make sure that it stays. And you're just going to continue doing that all the way around. So this is what it looked like once I was done, and I went all the way around with it, and now I'm just kind of examining it, and I saw that it needed another petal there. I had a couple that were a little spaced a little too far apart, so I just added another petal. And now I'm just going to fluff it up, and I'm going to trim off all of the excess string. And so these were 3-inch squares that I made. And the other flowers that you saw in the beginning of this video are actually 2-inch squares. So you can also use bigger rings or smaller rings. It just depends on the size of flower or what you have on hand. So you can see these 2 flowers are a bit smaller. Again, they were 2-inch squares of fabric with the 2 1/4 ring, macrame ring. And then the patriotic one is a 3-inch squares with a 2 1/4 macrame ring. I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.